All right, this is a response to one of our videos. And before we begin, let me just say thank you very much to this person who commented. And we really appreciate that you put out this full disclosure in your situation. We appreciate that. But
Mhm.
we're gonna primarily focus on the other portion of your entire comment. So,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna let Isaiah spearhead that one.
All right. So again, thank you for commenting. We really like how we have this much discourse. It makes us feel like we're actually, we're getting somewhere with the content that we're making. You're making discourse, and we love it. And so we thank you for that. But I'm gonna be real. The first half, I'm not gonna go into that. We're not going to go into that because I feel like that's a whole can of worms, and a lot of like different scenarios can go into that first part as to how that ended up. And because there's a lot of like faults on both sides in our opinion. But we're gonna go ahead and start off where this person said, again, this is in relation to our comment about the
Dana
drama
White
between
slap.
Dana White, um, White slapping his wife, or I guess you want to put it in the justice way. His the wife slapped first. Dana responded with like a
Nice two
slap
piece,
and
man.
a
Two
nice two
piece.
piece and some dessert, right? So that whole Dana White club scenario, and so basically this guy said, um, verbatim, let's flip the script for a moment. What if the incident didn't involve his wife? What if it was his brother or a random man at the club? Headlines would read, Dana White successfully defends himself from attacker. What if it was a smaller man, 30 centimeters shorter, 40 kilograms lighter than him? Do you think people would say, oh, he shouldn't have hit him back? Look how much smaller than that man. Look how much smaller that man is. No one should be hitting anyone, period. Proportionate force definitely comes into consideration. The video is low quality and has a lot of flashing lights. From what I was able to make up, she slapped him, he slapped him back. They grappled for a few seconds before he tossed her to the ground. She got up and wanted to continue, but someone stepped in. Had he decided to use her as a human punching bag, I wouldn't be on his side. But when you look at the slap he gave her, how low power it was, and how relatively gentle he tossed her, he really took it easy on her because he had the UFC announce him. Oh, sorry, because he had the UFC around him shouldn't matter. When it comes to justice, all surroundings like that should be removed from consideration, and we should look at the case itself for what it is at its bare bones. Person A did this to person B then did this and this. Put like that, it's a lot more cut and dry. Adding all the extra just serves to cloud the matter. Please tell me your thoughts. So that's the portion that we're gonna go ahead and respond to because I feel like that's a little bit more relevant. Um, Not saying the first portion, it's a cool story. I'm just saying there's a lot of portions that I'm not gonna get
Yeah,
into.
we don't want to get into your personal aspects in
No.
that because again, that's again, we really appreciate you sharing that with us, and we're gonna focus on the section that we started.
Yeah.
But
So like okay, so I was talking about this with Mark earlier, and what you're saying in a nutshell is that it should be looked at for the way that it was in that
in that moment, yeah,
Yeah, in that moment Dana wife hit first, and then Dana White responded, which by all accounts you are right, you're correct, that did happen. But what I will bring up to you from my perspective is the I guess like the media portrayal and monetary outcome of this, because even though you are right, the what happens in practice, unfortunately it's not gonna ever be like that because of the way of what's more popular. So What? Let me ask you this: what's more popular, or what's gonna get more clicks? What's gonna get more views? Is it that Dana White, um, Dana White defended himself against a man at the club, or is it going to be that Dana hit his wife? And I mean, from a logical perspective, obviously the one where he hits his wife is going to create way more clicks, way more views, way more discussion than the first scenario. And is it a double standards thing? Yeah, of course it's a double standards thing. But that's just the reality and the rule set that you have to consider. Because what is the sponsors, what is the people who are funding the UFC going to think about? They're going to think about, again, this is the point that we were trying to drive earlier, is that you have to think about the third party realistic uh factors that come into play when you respond like this. Sure, she did slap him. That is 100% correct. On the justice scale of things, you're 100% correct. But what Dana did when he slapped her back, in the realism of things, in the way that our social system works, it it him doing that was like one of the worst things that you could probably have done from like a business standpoint, because now it looks like well, those stories can be like you slapped his wife, because all the people are going to do that now. All people are going to say that because that makes more headlines, more views. And then who's going to hear that? The sponsors, the people who are funding that. What is that going to affect? That's going to affect the public eye. People are not going to be res- uh they're not going to be positively receptive to that. So just in the reality of things, what we're saying is that Dana White should have acted differently in line of these unfortunate social rules that are in play here, like the what's more popular here kind of thing. Um, so yeah, even though that she did slap him first, this in the reality of things, it's not gonna work the way that you want it to. So what do you what do you think, Mike? What do you think on that? That's at the comment.
Oh man, I've been thinking about it a lot actually while you've been talking,
Yeah.
and I tried my, like he said in his comment, which was we have to remove the UFC around him, right?
Mm.
It shouldn't matter that the UFC's behind him and like all this, right? So I was like, okay. So let me put this in my own perspective, right? If I was a man at a club and I saw Dana White, and I didn't know, let's say another man, right, at a club,
Hmm.
and I saw another man and his woman, and
According to an Alexa Answers contributor.
Hey Alexa, what's up?
I don't know why that happened, but
All right.
um, no, but imagine if I was in a club and I saw another man and his woman. It's not Dana White, just necessarily just a random person. And the woman slaps the man, and the man retaliates and gives her a two-piece like Dana White did, right? In the same proportionate force that happened in that video, I'll be very honest, I could care less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna intervene. I'm not gonna do much. I'll just look at it and I'm like, huh, they're not having a good night, and then walk
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, if he started like full on 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, like full on combos on this woman, I'm gonna step in, right? But again, that's just how I perceive it from that standpoint. And I see where he's coming from, right? I
Yeah.
see that he's like, it was just a quick reaction, like 1, 2, hey, and someone got in the way, right? But the thing is, the UFC, even though you said the UFC around him shouldn't matter, when it comes to justice. Unfortunately, justice is such a broad sense or broad definition of what it is, and it could constitute a numerous amount of things, because justice is different from people. In the actual definition of it, it's a judge or magistrate, or actually the just behavior or treatment being given out, or the principle that people receive that which they deserve, is what justice is. But unfortunately, justice is different for everyone. And when you consider and factor in the UFC, which is unfortunately something that should be factored in considering the UFC is not just Dana White, it's a multi-billion-dollar brand, right? It's a brand. They have to consider that as a public image, right? That's why Adidas cut ties with Kanye West. He has the right to speak whatever he wants. However, again, they don't want to be tied with whatever Kanye West speaks of, so they have to cut him off. Likewise, I don't wish this for Dana White, but if he does this again and he fully commits and actually pieces her up, there are backers and investors of the UFC who might pull out and might be like, Dana White, you need to resign. And we always have to consider that as a factor, especially with a person with so much power as Dana White. If he was just a regular Joe Schmo on the street, would we care? No,
Nope.
we wouldn't, because that's every day. That's everyday life, But the thing is, again, unfortunate as it may be, and that sounds like a double standard, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's the reality of it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is as much as I want to be that person who's I really could care less what he does in his private life and all that, it was a horrible video, and it was in a bar, there's alcohol, New Year's Eve, it wasn't even that hard of a hit, this, that, and the third. Unfortunately, that isn't really the reality of Dana White's situation,
Yeah.
because he is the CEO and president of the UFC.
Yeah.
And he has that power, and he is the face of the franchise. So even though I want to remove the UFC around him, and when we should consider the facts of it, which is person A did this to person B, and person B then did this to person A. Unfortunately, with him being that president and with him being that person, it wouldn't matter. Because, again, face of a franchise.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because, like everyone, especially here in the U.S., everyone's constituted to have freedom of speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is given that right. Kanye West used his freedom of speech to say whatever he wants about said community. Mm-hmm. Said community didn't like it and expressed displeasure. Adidas, a company, didn't want to be associated with that type of speech that Kanye West was speaking, so they cut ties. Even though that is wrong, because again, Kanye West has the right to speak whatever he wants. Same, Adidas is a big backer of the Yeezy brand, said that they don't want to be associated with that type of speech, and they have the right to pull away their backing from Yeezy. Same thing if Dana White did this again and hit his wife harder, and she shows up and she posts black pictures of black eyes on her. She has a black eye, bruises on her body and everything, and posts it on social media and everything. I guarantee you, backers like Disney and ESPN are gonna demand that Dana White step down. So, unfortunate as that may be, right? No one should hit anyone in public no matter
Yeah.
what the reason is. And I've said that before in all my other videos. I'm like, hey, if someone hits you, get your phone out and call the cops, man.
Or like just I mean, if you, I'm not saying Dana White should do this, but I'm talking about like on a personal level. If someone tries to piece you up, just make sure that no one is going to watch if you try to react. You know what I mean? Like
But that's the thing, is like everyone
you
has
did
like
that in a
phones
club,
now.
bro. Like that was like the worst place that you could have done that.
Yeah, do it in your private
You
jet,
know?
bro.
No. Either way, but yeah, that's
That's
our response to that.
yeah, like I get
So-
where you're coming from and I respect it, right? If he was just another guy, we wouldn't care. But he is the UFC, so we kind of do care. But again, thank you very much, man. Like seriously, you respond, and you respond like intensely. We really appreciate that, because we've been doing this for a couple months now, and we appreciate all the responses people make. And once again, guys, if you agree or disagree, right, with what's been said in this video, let us know, man. We like to continue a conversation because it builds a community, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a community where we can talk without having to get very in our feels, you know. Because I don't understand how like women argue. Because like if you hit like a good point, they immediately hit below the belt, and they be like, "So yeah,
Your dick's small."
yeah, exactly." I'm like, "Yo, whoa! You
Hey,
said I had an anaconda. Oh,
Hey, you said it was at least bigger.
yeah." Or like your father never
Oh.
loved you. This, that, and the third.
I'm like, yo,
Like, at least I know my dad. And they're like, "Yo, what?"
yo.
Like, we want to argue and have actual like points being made.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't wait until we reach 1,000 subscribers, and then we can like start showing our face, and we can start like, you know, what I do want to do is like, is off topic, but I do want to get to the point where we can start doing like weird stuff. Like we can like we could do a pod.
Whoa.
Hey, no, hear me out. We could do like not that kind of weird stuff, but like we can do a podcast in the middle of a a trash can or something, like a street, just just
Yeah,
like
our
random
actual
out
home.
stuff. Yeah, like outside our home, we'll meet up, and then we'll do a podcast like
The fucking
I don't
beach
know.
in Hawaii,
That-
bro.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
See, 1,000 subs can get you in a beach.
But help us reach us there, guys. That'd be nuts.
Yeah, man. Again, to the person who commented, if you got friends or people like that you were like, "Hey, you want to back me up on my argument or my claims? Like, you can comment on this guy's video." We'll answer everything, man. But thank you again for commenting and really adding more to the discussion, because this is a big thing, because unfortunately, especially in the West, we have double standards. And it's very apparent because there's been a lot of experiments done where they had a woman beat up a man in public and no one intervenes. But when a man beats up a woman, everyone starts intervening for no reason. And it's crazy because, like, if a man calls a woman the B word, everyone gets so angry. But when a woman starts making fun of a man and say, "Yo, your penis is small," and this and third, everyone starts laughing at the man. And I was like, "Yo, this is wrong." But thank you again for that comment. It really adds to our community. And we hope to hear from everyone who's listening to our video soon. Comment in the video. Comment under there. Comment in the video whether you agree or disagree. Like and subscribe. Thank you, guys.